Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get Real with Jack and Cindy. I'm Cindy Morrison.
And I'm Jack Wallace. Thank you so much for being here. We're glad to see you.
We're going to talk warranties today.
The warranty man.
Yeah.
Like literally, you are the warranty man.
Hopefully,
Auto
yes.
and home.
Well,
right?
yeah, we kind of do a little bit of everything.
Okay, but we're talking specifically about home warranty today.
Correct.
And
Correct.
I just want to say that we're doing this because this is a very interesting and new way of doing home warranty that we are pretty excited about.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against any of the other home warranty companies, but my experience with them has been sometimes less than what I anticipated.
Right.
And so for different reasons, and we're going to discuss some of that. And so this is kind of a new way of looking at it. So if you could just kind of give us an overview.
Well, let's introduce
I'm sorry.
Henry
That's
Primo
kind of important
Jr.
too. I just assume everyone knows you. The name.
Henry Primo Jr. is here with us with
Junior.
on-call home warranty. So good to have you here.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I'm sorry,
Good to
I
be here.
jumped right into
Oh,
the
you're
meat of
good.
it.
You're good.
So could you tell us a little bit about like why you decided to do this?
So yeah, obviously you've been a friend of mine forever, and I've known a ton of realtors over the years. I've always been in the auto warranty business, and everybody asks me, "Who's got the best home warranty?" I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know anything about that space, and so I asked around a little bit, few people, and they're like, "Yeah, we really don't know anything about it." Well, one day I had like 4 or 5 people call me in a week, and I'm like, I'm going to call somebody that I know knows somebody in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
So I called a friend of mine that I've known. His dad and my dad were business partners in New Orleans. They own one of the largest auto warranty companies in the country. As a matter of fact, they back Gulf States Toyota.
Oh, okay.
They are the backers between Gulf States. They do all of their ancillary products, or tire and wheel, dent and ding, gap insurance, all that. That's what this company does. So I called
Gotcha.
Garrett. I said, "Do you know anybody in this space?" He said, "No." He goes, "But one of my best friends is the president of AmTrust." And AmTrust, if you don't know who AmTrust is, they're the largest insurance company in the world that is a specialty risk management company.
Okay.
So they back home warranties, car warranties, boats, motorcycles, RVs, you name it, cell phones. We can pretty much do everything that they have. And so I called him, had a nice conversation with him, and he said, "You are probably the luckiest person in the world." He goes, "We were developing a warranty from AmTrust, and the vice president of our company decided to take early retirement, and he's doing this on his own. We have spent years and years and years developing this product, and now they're going to come out and come out with this warranty. Our administrator, the name of the administrator is VectorSolve. VectorSolve is a lot of the IT guys from AmTrust that broke away to form this company. And the reason they did that is because Aleem Akani, who's the president of VectorSolve, saw a broken home warranty market. The prices were too high. The coverages sometimes you'd never get to your coverage limit, or it wasn't enough. So they took all the data that they've had over the last 30 years and came up with a new platform. And so that's where we are today.
So in response to the negative feedback from end users of the home warranty,
Correct.
They tried to fix those things that were
Correct.
less than desirable.
Correct. The biggest hurdle in the home warranty business, and I think you guys can attest, is we're one of maybe 1 or 2 companies that will let you use your own contractor. Most of the other companies they contract with somebody, normally not the best company in the world, because they ask them to give them a little bit of a discount because they're going to be giving them a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
We feel like that is a broken model. Because if your neighbor, if you go to church with somebody that is an air conditioning guy and you want to use him, you can't. You have to use somebody that you don't know. So we feel like that is a tremendous value for the customers to be able to pick up the phone and say, "John, can you come over? There's something wrong with my air conditioning."
Not to mention that most of those companies, they've negotiated down so low that they're coming to your house almost as a loss to begin with.
Correct.
Right.
And so their interest in really helping you is not that great. They're more interested in collecting their service fee and getting on down the road because they
Correct.
know they're going to lose money if they do much more work.
Or they try to upsell the customer.
Right.
And for people who may not be familiar with warranties, I mean, we've seen the car commercial warranties, and stuff like that. But, you pay a monthly fee or
monthly or
yearly fee, and then you are a part of their warranty program. When you have an issue, you call them. They say, yes, we'll call somebody out. It's a $75 or $100 call out fee.
Right.
We've had one on our home for years, and our fridge kept having problems. So unfortunately, by the time they came out several times, we probably could have bought a new fridge. But but it's that peace of mind of knowing that if something goes out, they will hopefully fix it or replace it. And you're not having to buy a new air conditioner or a new fridge when you're not planning.
And these are the things that are not covered by your homeowner's insurance. It's kind of that gap between what your homeowners would cover and what you would have to cover. Now, what is the difference? You mentioned that they were the backers of the insurance but home warranty is not considered insurance. Is that correct?
No, it's considered, but basically like an extended warranty.
Okay.
For your products.
But it doesn't fall under the umbrella of what we consider insurance.
No,
it's a different thing.
Correct.
So that's kind of an important
And you have different kinds of warranties. Like builders will generally offer on their new construction a year warranty on their homes. Or you as a homeowner, especially with an older home, can go out and get one of these warranties to hopefully keep you from shelling out a lot out of your own pocket, unexpected expenses.
Right. And it's not designed to replace every appliance in your house. Obviously, we would go out of business if they did that. It's designed to repair something that is still in good working condition. Now, if it's we had a claim the other day, an older unit, the lady, it was $2,300 or $2,400 to fix. She had the basic plan, so she got $2,000 to fix on her air conditioning. It was $2,200 to fix, or for $3,400 she can buy a whole new unit. She calls in and says, I would rather get a whole new unit. We're like, it makes sense to us because you're going to have a unit with a warranty on it. Let's go ahead and we'll give you the $2,000 towards the new unit.
Oh yeah.
And so she wasn't out very much money.
Oh, that's
and
great.
She got a brand new unit.
Yeah, it's sort of funny too, because I was just talking to a friend of mine who had to replace his garage door opener. And I had to do, this is hysterical, Cindy. I had to replace my sprinkler control because for 3 nights it sounded like my attic was possessed either by a raccoon or a ghost. And I had no idea what was going on. And my yard guy goes, well, there's something going on with your, and then he played, and it was like banging in the pipes. Not that was covered if it was even more. But my point is, I was telling my friend, I go, oh my gosh, this stuff in our house is just killing our beach vacation dream. Like, it's this that kind of stuff that everything is so expensive right now that it is kind of interesting. Like used to, we kind of self-insured a lot of this stuff, but now, I mean, if you have two or three major things go wrong with appliances or fixtures in a year, that's a pretty big dent. I mean, so this is where I think this really is sort of a little more peace of mind. The one thing I really like about this company and the other reason why I'm excited about it is you guys actually say what your caps are for each thing.
Right. That's another big thing is the industry as a whole. It's very difficult to figure out what you're buying. Matter of fact, when we first started this, I called some of the big 3, got online and I'm gonna see how much their pricing is. I tried to. Right. So one of them, I get on there, I type in my name, I type in my email, I type in my phone number. I go to the next spot and I'm like, okay, here's the different packages. Before I start looking at the packages, my cell phone rings. And I'm like, all right, pick up the phone. It's the warranty company. They're like, we're here to help you buy a warranty. I'm like, well, I haven't even looked yet. I said, could you tell me what the limits of liability and stuff are? I want to know exactly what I'm buying. And they're like, yeah, we can sign you up and then you can figure that out later. And if you don't like it, you can cancel it. I'm like, no,
it doesn't work that way.
I don't want to do that.
It's like getting you on the monthly plan that you'll never get off of.
Correct. Correct. And our website, when you go to it, you go straight to protection plans and we tell you gold, silver, and bronze package. We've got 3 packages, exactly what's covered, how much is covered, and how much it's going to cost you. If you want to add a swimming pool, it's right there. We've got exactly how much it's going to cost you and how much we're going to cover on it. The best thing about our program is you don't have to call in to file a claim.
Repeat that.
You do not have to call in to file a claim.
That's huge.
Each customer is going to get their own customer portal. We do have an 800 number. You can call in if you're not tech savvy and you want to make the call to the 800 number. We'll figure out exactly what's wrong. We'll get you approved. You can call the contractor of your choice, or if you don't have somebody, we can always recommend you. But
so you do have both models. They can use their own, or you'll help them find somebody.
Correct. So in a perfect world, it's so easy. You go on call home warranty, go to customer portal, hit file a claim. It's going to ask you what's wrong. My hot water heater's leaking. It's going to automatically turn your phone into your camera. You take a picture of your hot water heater. 2 reasons. One, we know exactly what hot water heater it is.
Mm-hmm.
We know over the years of all the data that we've collected how much it should cost to fix that. So we already know within $100 of what we're going to spend on that before the technician comes out. And obviously, let's say we think it's going to be $500. If the bill comes in between $400 and $600, you're paid automatically.
So we're using AI actutuary.
Using AI actuary.
We do love ourselves some AI.
Yeah. If it comes in at like 12
actuary, that was statistics was my favorite course in college.
Yeah.
So I love numbers like that. Yeah.
So if it comes, let's say it comes in at double what we think it's going to be, we'll automatically call the customer. So, hey, is your technician still there? Yes, he is. Could you put him on the phone? Hey, we see this repaired, normally about $500. Is there anything else that you're doing? Oh, well, yeah, well, they had a couple other things that I'm fixing. I just put it all in one. We'll just ask them, hey, can you give us a detailed bill? Because some of those other things may be covered. And we've had that. We've had to ask for a detailed bill, and the things that they didn't write up wound up being covered anyway. So
and if not, then you cover what is, and then the client can decide whether they want to pay the balance or not.
Correct.
That's cool.
So the AI system, if like on a hot water heater, for example, if they see water on the ground, it's automatic. We cover all leaks on hot water heaters. So it'll tell them you are automatically approved. Call the contractor of your choice. Soon as as soon as they get a copy of an invoice, like a estimate, they come back on the site, take a picture of the invoice. Our AI system's reading that invoice. If everything's good to go, you get an email right away that X amount of dollars, that this amount is coming to your account. You get we've had customers be reimbursed before the technician left their house and was finished.
What is it? Just direct deposit into
Just direct deposit into.
So then that's another thing too with this company. You pay the initial, whatever it is, the bill.
So instead of your $50 service fee, you're actually going to pay the bill.
Correct.
And then you get reimbursed.
Correct. With normal reimbursements, I have not seen one take over 48 hours.
Okay. And then there's $100 deductible on each. So like if it was a $2,000 bill, then you're going to get $1,900.
Correct. You'll get $1,900 back. There's no extra service fees. There's no other fees.
Cool.
A lot of contractors now won't even make you pay at the door. They'll bill you.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, a lot of times you'll have money in your pocket before you get the bill in some cases.
Let's be honest, you also can put it on your credit card and get points.
Yeah,
well,
there you
go.
Yeah. I always think about the points. So that's, those major things that actually adds up. So it's nice to have those points. And especially if you're going to get the reimbursement right away, then you pay it. You don't have to pay any interest, but you got the points on it.
Right.
So,
and a lot of other companies also, when the technician's out there, the technician's not allowed to use the part that they have on their truck that may fix your appliance. Some of the bigger companies ship out parts because they make money on their parts. And if
I'm confused. They're not allowed to use what they have because it isn't coming from the warranty company?
Really?
Correct.
So when we have to wait on parts with warranty companies, it's not because they don't have the part, it's because they want it to be cheaper directly from.
Correct.
We were without our dishwasher, or our clothes washer for more than a week waiting on a part.
Right.
Interesting.
We've talked to several contractors in town that do work on a couple of different home warranty companies. And what they've done is they've told the customer, you're going to pay me up front. And then as soon as we get paid, we'll reimburse you. Because sometimes it's 2, 3, 4 months. And so a lot of these bigger, more reputable companies, they don't want to mess with it. Sure. I mean, they're charging $100 an hour, which is about norm for somebody to come out. And some of these companies only pay them $40 or $50 an hour. And so they're not willing to do that work.
So it feels like to me, this is a much more savvy individual customer who wants control, wants quality control in their own house. I mean, and that's why I, eventually I let go of my home warranty, because I don't want somebody that they don't like, the flunky that they want to send out for these things coming to my house, trying to, do things. I had them create more problems than they were fixing at times. And then I would end up having to have somebody come out, and I paid to have it fixed what they had done. Right. So at that point, I was just kind of out of it. So this is a much better
let me give
approach.
an example of that. So let's say you have a leak in your shower and you pay a service call for somebody to come fix the leak in the shower, but they had to take off all the tile work to get to that. Putting back that tile work is not covered by your warranty. Right. So you need to be aware of some of the things that a warranty will and won't do.
When I think sometimes what's interesting is if you're looking at this compared to looking at some of the others don't tell you that they're going to cap everything, but they do. Right. So you may think, oh, but on that company, I have endless amounts of money if something goes wrong. That is not true. Correct. There is a cap, and you will have to stay within it. So you're just transparent about that. Correct. So you're not doing something different than they are as far as capping the amount you do for each thing. You just tell it.
Correct.
I think that's important to get that out.
Right. Our business philosophy and AmTrust and VectorSol's business philosophy is transparency. My business partner is Ted Andrus. You've met Ted. Yeah. He was in the heat and air business for 20 years. And when I first approached him at this, he says, no, I'm not getting enough. He goes, you have no idea. He goes,
hell no.
He goes, it's the wild, wild west. He goes, and they don't pay. And so I started explaining it to him what the difference was. And he's like, that's the biggest headache in the whole industry. And if you'll go like Better Business Bureau or any of their websites, the biggest complaint is the contractor you sent to me could not fix.
Which is a problem.
It's a problem.
When you think that's what you have it for, and then you're having to fight to get that, that's crazy.
But if you know somebody in the heat and air, electrical, plumbing business that you trust, you go to church with them, might be one of your best friends, they're going to come out to your house, and they know you're paying them. You're their customer. We're not their customer, which makes them perform the work, because you know what? If they don't perform the work right, you're the customer. You're not going to pay them until they perform the work right.
Well, and then also, Cindy and I are doing this because we do. Anybody who's watching who's interested in this can get a hold of us. We'll tell them how they can sign up for it, and we can help you do that. So that's good. But I think one of the reasons why we want to do this is because it is something that we as industry. Am I saying that right?
Industry leaders.
It doesn't sound right.
As an industry, there we go.
Person, yeah. Then I feel like so much of the time I don't want to even. People ask me about home warranty. I'm like, you know what? Here's the information, but I'm not going to suggest it. I'm not going to. There were times back in the day when we would say, well, here, do this, and then if anything goes wrong, you're covered. Everything will be replaced. And it's like you live with it long enough. You're like, that isn't how this goes down. So with this, I feel like there's so much more. I can tell somebody you're going to use your own people. Here's how much you're going to get if this fails. Right. If the air conditioner and the heater are $7,000 and you have this, you still may be out this amount, but at least you're going to get this amount, and it's going to help you towards it. So I think that's huge. And I just think the other times I've had such a hard time, I feel like you feel like you're adversarial. You are. And then even as a real estate professional, it's not like I can fight for my clients as much because there's no one to really fight for us. So so I think that's where it really.
And y'all are located here.
Yeah, we're right here in Tulsa.
So we can literally get our hands around your
head. We're right. Yeah. we're right off of Skelly Drive is our office.
Yeah, and that's important to me. Yeah.
And to kind of give you an idea of the coverage limits, of course, I do not have on my glasses, so this is ish. Bronze $660 a year or $60 a month. Silver $795 a year or $69 a month.
$759.
Oh, $759. See, okay, I'm reaching for my glasses.
Or gold is $849 a year or $77 a month.
Yes.
The difference between bronze and gold is not that much money for the coverage that you get.
Okay.
It really isn't.
The way we look at it, the way that my personal view is, A bronze package, you're going to buy that on a house, maybe 250,000 and down.
Okay.
Silver package, probably 250 to 400-ish. And then anything 400 above, you're going to probably want a gold, just because your appliances are going to be a little bit nicer.
Well, I'm going to agree to disagree with you, because I have a house that's in the price point that would be considered more like a bronze, but I can tell you right now, my prices when I get things fixed are more like the gold package than they are the bronze. So I think if somebody in that price point is really wanting true coverage,
and you've remodeled, so it's not the original.
Yeah, then I think that the
appliances.
gold package makes a lot of sense. For $17 more a month, I think you could 2 repairs, you're going to be well ahead on that. I mean, 1 repair, you probably.
I mean, it's less than $200 total too.
And there's a $100 deductible. Things that are covered: your appliances like your built-in microwave, kitchen exhaust fan, refrigerator, dishwasher, clothes washer, clothes dryer, garbage disposal, water heater. Stay with me, folks. Devices like ceiling fans, garage door opener, which I've had that one, doorbells, and then systems: air conditioning, heating, ductwork, electrical system, plumbing stoppages, and the plumbing system. But you can add on, which honestly, for $849 a year, if you did the gold one, several of the ones that I have suggested clients go were more than that, especially once you added on a pool. But you can add on for additional appliances, for infrastructure, for a pool.
A wine cellar.
Ooh, very nice. I actually have a home with a fantastic wine cellar.
Yeah.
Not my home, but
so
a home listed.
another thing we did is we set our add-on coverages prices before we looked at anybody else's. And we didn't mark them up that much, because we thought, you know what, if somebody's buying a warranty and they need this stuff, we might as well sell it to them at a fair and reasonable price. To give you an example, I called one of the other companies, and I had the gold package with an air conditioning and a pool, additional air conditioning and a pool. Both my air conditionings are over 20 years old. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to take the chances. I'm going to buy the extra coverage. It's not that expensive.
Yep.
And I was $2,380 with another company. I did ours, and I was $1,400.
Oh, wow.
And the difference when I got to look at it, our price was about $150 cheaper on the bundle. And then our add-on prices were half the price.
Wow.
So I'm assuming everybody else is probably marking them up double. We didn't do that. We didn't even mark them up at all, because we want, if somebody needs the coverage, we want them to be able to get the coverage and be able to afford the coverage.
And some of these are really interesting, like the central vacuum, which we always deal with. Like, they often break, and they're usually older. I mean, so that's a really good one for people. The food spoilage, my gosh, that's a deal.
Right. It doesn't cover a whole lot, but you know, if your refrigerator goes out,
to get 250 when you have a major storm is a big help. Whenever, you know,
we're here in Oklahoma where people keep a whole cow. In
right.
the freezer,
Oh yeah.
You know, so
and then the home standby generator is a good one.
That's
people that have like they're out of their warranty on their home generator.
Right. And that's one that very few people have. And
just let me say this, for the home standby generator, it's 140.07. I love the 0.07.
Well, we put the real numbers in there. I mean, we were talking the other day.
$140.
Round those up.
Now, will you take 140?
Sure.
The $140.07 gets you a cap of $12,000 towards a home generator failure.
Correct.
That's pretty amazing.
That's pretty big.
I mean, so if you have an older home that has a 5 or 6 year old home generator that's no longer under warranty, that is, I mean, that's almost worth doing the whole thing for that.
And the reason, and I said, why is it so cheap for so much coverage? And they said, oh, typically home generators really don't go bad.
Yeah.
You don't use them that much.
And they've got a pretty good warranty on them from the factory.
Yeah. But I've had 2 or 3 clients that have had them.
Right. So
the oil goes out of them and they were destroyed and they had to replace them right away.
Right. So if you've got a home generator in your house and it's only 2 or 3 years old, I would wait till the coverage goes out. I would wait till it's 5 or 6 or 7 years old, and then you can add it. I mean, if you buy a warrant, let's say you're selling a house today and you do it as part of your part of the sale, and 2 years later somebody's like, hey Cindy, I really want to add the generator coverage. All they got to do is log into their system and go add generator coverage, and it'll say, how would you like to pay the $140.07? You give them a credit card and they've automatically got generator coverage.
So for $60 a month, $69 a month, or $77 a month, depending on which package you take. Then with add-ons, I mean, that's from what I've seen of the home warranties, that seems extremely fair.
Right. And another thing that you'll notice, and I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, all of our coverage, bronze, silver, and gold, we don't take anything out for the cheaper packages. A lot of these companies, they'll take out like refrigerator, washer, dryer,
interesting.
And some other things that
you just keep the coverage maximum.
Correct.
Lower.
We keep what we've done is no matter what package you have, you're going to get everything that is covered in our top package and our bottom package.
But just as an example, so the built-in microwave, let's just use it because it's the top number.
Sure.
For the bronze, the total max coverage would be 500.
Right.
For the silver, it would be 1,000, and for the gold, it would be 1,500 max.
Right.
So for $17 more a month on that particular one, you're getting three times the coverage.
Yep.
And then there's some of these where it's 4 times the coverage. So that's when you really get into, I just think with inflation, if you could do that gold, if you're going to do this, you might as well, in my mind, do the gold, because you're going to go ahead and know that you're really covered.
That's the way I look
on
at
those things. Because again, a lot of these could be more expensive than what these numbers are, but this is giving you an idea that you're going to get these at least.
Correct.
And this is something that can be negotiated in your contract. If you're buying an older house and you want the seller to buy you the gold package for that first year. I even had one that negotiated 2 years out of it.
Yeah.
But that, so if you think, oh, I don't know if I can afford that just right this second, that is something that you could possibly negotiate.
Correct. And then once your contract expires after the first year that you put it into your loan, then you can come back and you pay monthly or one time a year.
And then also you can do this if you have rental property.
Correct.
So you can do your rental properties under this, which is
single
kind of
family
nice.
homes, duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes.
That's great. So for people that are in that situation, that's nice to just know, like, that cash flow can sure go away quickly.
Yeah.
If you have some, major, even some minor repairs that have to be done on some of these things. So that's a really great thing. And you can do it for unlimited number of properties.
Correct.
Okay. And then, because, like on regular insurance, they cap how many properties.
Right. But go to somebody else and play the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And, these are the things that really break in a rental property.
Right.
I mean, it's not really, the other stuff doesn't. So this is really great coverage for those kind of things. Your home insurance for those things is going to be more for fire or hail or lightning, whatever that.
I've had a lightning strike before. That's not fun.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. Twice now to my house.
I've had it once.
Twice. Once in the yard, once in the house.
Wow. Remind me not to come to your house for anything.
Yeah.
So that's really important. And then also, I think it's really great because I think you can really easily understand some of the other ones. I can't understand the additional coverages. It's so blurry, and this is very laid out very well. Now, the one thing you do have the external sewer lines, water lines, electrical lines, and that's competing with, now the city has all of those and all the utilities do that. Do you know how you compare to those?
Their coverages, I haven't really looked at I've seen their coverage because I get it in the mail.
Yeah.
I haven't really dived really deep into it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what they cover. So I haven't really looked at that.
Yeah. I know that the sewer line one, or the line in I've had clients have had to use it, and it's, you can't choose to do it and then have them come right back out. Right. You need to do it and then,
and I think they charge, it's like $14 or $16 a month. So, I mean, even with ours, I mean, by the time if you do the whole package, it's about $200 a year. So it's about
comparable. And then you're just under one umbrella, which is nice.
Right. And especially
and again, you can use your own people.
Yeah.
I think you can with that one too, but.
But if you're, if you're in Midtown where those sewer lines from the street to your house are older, that may be something that really makes sense for you.
Right. I would suggest, I mean, if obviously
you may want both, because you could have tap on each.
Right. But if you're in a newer construction, I mean, 10, 15 years old or newer, you probably don't need that.
I still think I live in a new home and it was built in '89.
Oh, I know, me too. I built my house 22 years ago and just remodeled it. I'm like, it's still new.
Oh, my first house was built in 1918. Then we moved to one that's built in 1959. I always tell people I moved to new construction for a 1918 house, and it was like 1959 felt really new.
Right. Yeah. And like I said earlier, all of our pricing is on the website. It's 100% transparent.
That's awesome.
I mean, you can't get any more clear than what it is. We give you This is what it is. This is how much we're going to pay, and this is how much it costs you. I mean, it's pretty straightforward and simple.
And we were invited to where you presented this to a bunch of
Right.
our agents just to kind of get our feedback and what we thought. And you walked in, I was like, Henry. So good. I just think this is awesome. And
Now, we also have to talk from a real estate perspective. So whenever I have a listing and I have sellers who want to buy coverage in case things come up. Well, first of all, let's talk about it. So let's say we have a buyer.
Mhm.
We do a home inspection. They get some things fixed, but
Right.
then what is it if you send in the home inspection report?
We haven't got that quite ready yet, but
Okay.
we're working on it. Hopefully within the next 30 days, if you're selling a house and they upload their home inspection,
Mhm.
there's normally a 30-day waiting period on all home warranty contracts.
Okay.
We will waive that 30-day waiting period.
Okay.
Also, what we will do is our AI system, once it gets your home inspection report, and those things could be anywhere from 20 to 150 pages, depending on
Right.
how big the house is. Our AI system will break that down to a one-page sheet and tell you this is everything that's good in your house. This is everything you may need to look at right now or in the next 3 to 4 years.
Mhm.
And this is everything that needs to be fixed right now.
Mm.
Normally, that's going to be fixed before they buy the house.
Right.
So we're not really having to worry about that. But sometimes, I mean, some people say, hey, you want it, you're fixing it.
Right.
Yeah. So those
I
may
mean,
be
probably not now,
exclusions.
but back when the housing market was
Especially
crazy,
2020 through 2022.
that you could sell a house and say, I don't care, it needs a new roof. Go buy a new roof if you want to buy my house.
If not, next.
And exactly.
But now, okay, so if those things come up on the inspection report that need to be done now and they don't get done, then those become pre-existing
those
condition.
become pre-existing.
So those things would not be covered. So
Correct.
that's the one kind of thing you have to. It's good and bad for the buyer, but they
Right.
should have those things fixed anyway.
Right. Just give you an example. Like, let's say it's the dead of winter. Probably not going to turn the air conditioning on if it's 15
Right.
degrees outside. Come
That's so common.
3 or 4 or
Yeah.
5 months from now, when you go to turn your air conditioning on, it doesn't work. You call us. It is a pre-existing condition, but it's an unknown
no
pre-existing
knowledge, yeah.
condition, so it would be covered.
And that is very normal for those of you that are not in real estate. When you get inspections in a cold, the temperature has to be above a certain temperature to test the condenser unit, or it can freeze. And so a lot of times they cannot check the air conditioner in the winter to see if it's working. They can check the heater all the time, but the air conditioner.
We had that with our house.
Yeah.
They didn't check it because we bought it really cold in February. And sure enough, we went to go turn on our air conditioning and it didn't work. Oops.
Yep,
So it can't
it
happen.
happens.
Mm-hmm.
So then there's that. So, but if I have a listing and then the seller wants to, I know this is not yet, but we're talking about this potentially being seller coverage.
Right.
Explain what seller coverage means.
Well, I just got an email 2 minutes before we
Breaking
started
news,
this.
breaking news.
I feel like I'm back in my element.
This just in.
that seller's coverage is going to be available probably within a week or two.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, great.
It's going to be pretty much like you have now. It's very inexpensive for the realtor. I think it's $75 for you guys. It lasts 6 months, and it gives you $1,500 worth of coverage.
Huh.
So little things that are going to go wrong, like your electrical outlets, maybe a
Wow.
light switch or something like that's going to go bad. Instead of you having to do that, it's not that much money.
So you said
Okay.
the realtor. So then the $75, we pay that as part of our list. Like as a realtor, we pay it as a part of like an incentive to the
Right.
client.
To the client, it's a 6-month
To the
warranty.
seller, we can do incentive to
seller,
the seller. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's a 6-month contract. So if their house sits on the market for 6 months, let's say they
Well, that's a nice thing for a realtor to go in and say that they provide.
right.
Mhm.
So let's say you put your house on the market, everything's great. 2 weeks before you go to sell it, you start having electrical issues. Well, call us up and we'll take care of it before it closes, and that way you're not out of any.
You know, I had that happen
Pocket.
years ago. We used to do seller coverage, and we had a hot water tank that went out, and it was amazing. Like
Oh, it
people
never
were like,
fails.
"You guys are heroes," and then they ended up not selling the house because the house, expired. The listing expired. They decided not to sell. They're like, "But we got a hot water tank."
Right.
Thank
It happens.
Okay, that's great. No, I really like that. So that's another. And then also, it's kind of cool because then people kind of get used to to the program too when you have that. So and the $1,500 on the seller side would be kind of a blanket number then for those things compared to this where it's
correct. I'll have to get you. I'll get you guys
that's
a copy of the coverages so you can.
So it's a completely
we can all
separate
talk
thing.
Intelligently about it.
It's a completely separate thing from this.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Cool. Well, this is awesome. No, I think this is really good. I mean, Cindy and I went to the presentation, to be honest, and I went kind of because Lindsay Padilla asked me to go, and I literally probably would not have gone otherwise.
Right. Ditto.
Yeah, right. And so, but I was really immediately we wanted to have you on the show because we really felt like this was something unique and great compared to what we've been dealing with.
A different approach.
Yeah. Right, and we worked really close with Lindsay and with Lee and Cheryl and the boys, and they said, we like it, but if you did this, you would improve on it, and this is what we would like to see. So we've actually been talking with them for about 6 months, and everything that they've asked us that they said we would like this, we went to VectorSolve went to AmTrust, and we got it done.
Wow.
Just like when we first started this, we didn't have a real estate section at all.
Oh, wow.
We didn't know anything about it,
right?
Because AmTrust, they're the administrator, so they don't know anything about that kind of stuff. So we didn't know. And the first person we talked to as a real estate person, they're like, "What about seller's coverage?" We're like, "What's that?" And so we didn't know anything about it.
Well, that's also a great way for you to build rapport with realtors to sell your product.
Absolutely.
That's great.
And so this plan was pretty much, Lindsay really helped tailor this plan of what it is today.
Oh, that's awesome.
So she did a great job.
Yeah. And the other thing too,
she's been in the warranty business.
I have a couple of properties right now.
That's how I knew Lindsay was from years and years of being in the warranty business.
Right.
And she would go to bat for you. So
yes, she did.
She really was. And that's the other thing too. This kind of allows us to go to bat for people.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important. So when we're sitting here saying we'll help you sign up or whatever, we do have someone that we can say, hey, we have a problem here, Houston, and have an ear that will pick up the phone.
Just like in our meeting, somebody said, who do we call if we have a problem? And all three of us raised our hand and say, any one of us.
Yeah, that's huge.
Right.
I mean, that really is huge. And the one thing I will say that there's a little bit of a caveat. If you have a buyer who is really, really strapped for cash, it would be very difficult for them to pay that amount of money in advance, then that may be the limiting factor in this for some people. Right. I think that's a pretty small percentage in the way you can work the deal for this, but you do have to have the ability to somehow either pay or get them to bill you.
Correct.
With this one. So that's the one thing that is a little
You're talking
different.
about when they pay the service.
Yes.
And I see a lot
but you're not waiting for them to send someone who has time.
Correct.
And waiting for them to process you. You can, like, if my hot water tank starts failing, I'm not really going to worry about you so much. I'm going to be getting somebody out there immediately to get that fixed so I don't have bigger damage.
Right. And I mean, in worst case scenario, I mean, we're not going to say, you didn't call us first. If you've got an emergency,
take care
and
of it.
Let's say your neighbor's a plumber and he can come over and fix your emergency and you didn't have time to go on the app and do all this stuff, just call us or go onto the app and say,
common sense.
We had a hot water heater leak. It was an emergency. My neighbor was right down the street. He came out and fixed us. Here's the invoice. We're going to pay it. Okay. We're not going to say, oh, nope, you didn't follow the right procedures. You didn't follow the right steps. We're going to pay
Which I've seen that happen before.
Oh, absolutely.
What neighborhood do you live in? I don't have anyone in my neighborhood who could fix anything.
It's a common sense approach.
Yeah, right? That's huge. I mean, and I think that's kind of where we're all so tired of bureaucracy. I mean, we just want to be able to. It's funny too because this is an AI. It's an AI plan, but by using the AI for the background, it's making it more human in its approach.
Correct.
Interesting. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because I think that's like. And I just love, what you're buying.
Yeah.
Like I just get so tired of not knowing what I'm buying. And honestly, if I'm buying something and I don't know what I'm buying, I'm getting screwed. Like I just feel like that's the truth because 100%. You're not being forthright on something because you don't want me to know what the truth is.
If it takes me 30 minutes,
you can't handle the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
If it takes me 30 minutes to find one little question,
it's wrong.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Not to mention you want to do this and then be done and then never do it until you need it. Yeah.
Hopefully you'll never need it.
Yeah.
And if you are an agent or a consumer, reach out to Jack and I, and we'll get you in connection with Henry and his team.
And it's real easy to go online. We can go on and help you get everything set up because I think that's the thing too. It's like this is pretty slam dunk. Once you get it in place, then you're, in place. I always think it's funny. We'll spend all that money on Netflix and on, all the things that we
streaming
do.
things.
Yeah.
Right.
Like what you do on this for the monthly. I think honestly, for me, especially insurance has just gotten so crazy expensive that it's kind of almost like, and then the coverages have gone down. Like your insurance number has gone up, your coverage has gone down. So to have this extra level of protection on the things that actually go wrong, because to me, with my homeowner's insurance, I wanted to basically be, if all, I think I've done one claim for a roof like 20 years ago. I just do not use it because I don't want my premiums to go up any higher. So it's really,
that's all right. Florida is taking care of that.
Oh, yeah.
It's more of a catastrophic thing. So this is really more like the things you're going to really
day in.
Yeah. The stuff that is going to affect
Drain
your life.
you.
Correct. I mean, because if your hot water heater goes out, you can't take a shower.
Yeah.
If your air conditioning goes out, you're going to be hot. Or if the heater goes out, you're going to be cold. And if your washer and dryer
and let's be honest, it seems like these kind of things happen in 3s and 4s in 1 year.
Right.
I mean, you may have 2 years where you don't ever use it. And then 1 year, it just seems like everything goes at one time. It's almost like everything was sort of put in at one time. And so when they fail, they sort of tend to fail in the same time period.
Well, they don't last like they used to either.
Right.
I mean,
especially refrigerators.
I've got a refrigerator in my garage.
Uh-huh.
I've got a refrigerator in my garage that my parents gave me when I moved out of their house when I was 19 years old.
So it's 10 years old?
Yeah, 10 years old. It's still, this thing's 40-something years
old. Isn't it crazy?
35 years old, and it still works.
And then we have people putting ones in now, and they're 2 years in, they're completely failures, and then the company are saying, and they're expensive.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I bought a new LG for my inside, and within 2 years, about a year and 9 months, it quit cooling. So I called an appliance place before we got into this, and they go, well, what year is it? And I'm like, I don't know. And so I give them the information. They go, oh, you're under warranty. Just call this number. They'll fix it for free. I didn't know that. I was getting ready to pay them. Thank God they were. Thank God they were honest.
That happened with my mom.
And they came out. LG sent somebody out, and the guy walked into my house with a new compressor. I'm like, how do you know that's wrong with it? He goes, we've had a problem with these. It's 100% of the problem. And I know that's going to be your problem.
Boy, that's a great story compared to what I typically have heard about those. What I typically hear is, sorry, that's not in our, is not covered by the warranty, and people have spent all that money. And
I know.
Wow. I mean, it's scary. Like new refrigerator at $2,500 or more. I mean, that's the thing. Like these coverages, when you really think about it, that a refrigerator now costs $2,500. A washer and dryer, how much is a washer and dryer? I mean,
a bunch,
and they fail. I mean, so. Yeah. And the other thing too is we really do want to try to repair things. Like if we can, it's the
best way to recycle is to repair what you have.
Yeah. And you don't want to have them pulling stuff in and out of your house. And I mean, like if you can when we bought our house, it had a Kenmore refrigerator.
Right.
And I still have it and it works great. I'm like, it will have to die before I'm going to spend, because I've heard so many horror stories about new refrigerators. I mean, and you go and they're so cool looking and they've got them like, nope, I'm going to keep in my Kenmore. Like, I can't get an ice filter though.
Oh.
I need to go online, but there's no more Sears to buy Kenmore.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody stockpiled those and are selling them on Amazon, I swear.
They could.
Yeah. What's funny is, the drawer one of the drawers in the bottom has like the thing over the top, the plastic piece, and somehow it fell off or broke, whatever. And John was all about getting a new refrigerator. I'm like, we can deal with the broken.
Right.
Like, I don't not spending $3,000 over a piece of plastic.
My garage fridge maybe has a little duct tape on a couple little drawers and stuff, but it still works.
So do I.
Yeah, we all need a little duct tape.
All right.
Well, Henry, thank you so much for coming on and explaining this. I think I even have a better grasp than we did, and you were very great explaining it, but it's retraining your mind as an agent that this is a different type of home warranty.
Yeah. Well, it's a different approach. I mean, like I said earlier, the biggest complaint with the other companies is sending somebody out that can't fix the problem or that does more damage than they did.
I will be honest, I grew up, my family's in construction. I have great respect for tradesmen. I'm not in any way saying anything disparaging about that at all. In fact, I think we need a whole lot more people to go to trade school.
Yes.
We need to stop pushing college as much as we push trade school, because we need those people. But the people that they would send to my house were getting to where I literally was scared for them to come to my house. So you have control over who comes into your house. For me, that's worth everything. And the fact that it's actually less money than the other ones is even better. So I think that was really, really what resonated with me. And again, if you're a real estate professional, this is something for you. If you're a consumer and you're interested, let us know. We'll help you get signed up. And I think it's really, I don't endorse much, but I think this is something that I can feel good about endorsing. So, and also like the fact that, you know, you're kind of a name that we know in Tulsa.
And we're here local.
Yeah. Well,
that's awesome.
Yeah. In fact, whenever they said, when I saw on the agenda that Henry Primo was going to meet, I was like, wow, I haven't seen him in years.
He hadn't been doing his commercials.
You weren't quite the one I was expecting, but I was glad to see you.
He's finally retired.
Oh, good for him.
Tell your mom and dad hello.
I will.
And your sister.
Yeah, tell them I said hi too. I go, who? Well, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate
you for having me.
You guys, thanks for tuning in. And I'm not sure what the topic will be next week, but I'm sure it will be fascinating.
We always have something to talk about. Thank you for being here.
Get real.